Hi, everyone. I'm here with Rhonda Malkin, who is the owner of Fusion Heels, and she is a fabulous, fabulous dancer, educator, and precision dance coach. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I hope that you can hear me with my laryngitis. My voice is coming back. So thank you for having me on this wonderful show.
Anytime. I wanted to have you on because I found your classes so much fun, so challenging, and just a lovely thing to enjoy during the pandemic. So I was at my home outside of the city and I was able to take tap and I zoomed in and it was just like I was in the room. It was incredible, the setup that you had. So I want you to tell the audience what you're currently working on, and you have a new course that you're offering other dance instructors. So I just want to spread the word because I really think you're doing fabulous work.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yes. So Michelle is referring to my new precision dance tutorial. And the reason why I decided to put this out, there's actually several reasons. I was a Rockette for 12 years at Radio City, and I have been teaching dance since I actually was like 15 years old, so almost 30 years. It's been a long time, but I've been coaching dancers for, more than 20 years for sure. And it has to be because I started coaching dancers when I was a Laker girl when I lived in Los Angeles. Being a professional dancer is such hard work, and getting in the room and understanding the language and the expectation of everything is just so incredibly difficult. And when all you want is just to live your dream, I just decided, as an educator, I just want to help more people be able to do that. So with getting back to the precision dance tutorial, as an educator for many years, what I realized for this precision dance style is it's its own language. It's its own genre. So I explain it to parents like we know English. And so let's say ballet is French, and let's say tap is Italian, and let's say jazz is Spanish. So the Rockette language or the precision dance language is Portuguese. And so it's its own language, and it sounds a lot like Italian or Spanish. It looks a lot like it, but it's not the same. And it is very specific. And for the Rockettes and for precision dance, you have to really understand the placement of the body in order to do it correctly. Just like ballet, it's very, very, very structured, even probably sometimes more structured than ballet. It's also very athletic. And so if you don't have the muscle conditioning, if you don't have the stamina in your muscles, then you won't be able to actually do the work properly. So just segueing on to Fusion Heels for a second, the reason why I created Fusion Heels was because in 2018, I had only one dancer become a Rockette. And the year prior, in 2017, I had 7. And
wow.
In that year, I was really mad. I wasn't mad at my dancers. I was mad at myself because I said to myself, okay, if I'm the one who's educating these dancers, I want them to be successful. That is really my goal for every single person who comes through my doors, is your success, not mine. I've already had it. So the truth is that if I say to my students, okay, go take this person's class, go take this intensive, go take this workshop, go cross-train at this studio, go to the gym, any of those things, but they don't actually go and do it, then I have to understand why. Why are they not taking these classes? Why are they not putting forth the effort? And I realized for some of the students, it was just they didn't want to go take from anyone else. They were familiar with me. They wanted to train with me, and they trusted me. So I said, okay, well, I'm a celebrity trainer. I've trained, lots of, people from all walks of life and different socioeconomic backgrounds. Let's be honest. I said, I can create something that will help dancers to get stronger in their heels. So I said, we're going to wear our heels for the entire class. So that's what Fusion Heels is about. So for the precision dance tutorial, you are wearing your heels the entire time. And with that, I realized for a lot of teachers, educators didn't realize how to teach dance in their heels, to students in their heels. They'll say, put on your heels, but they won't actually tell you how to dance better in your heels. And so it's a very different placement. It's a lot of muscle engagement that I'm sure a lot of young students, they don't quite understand. So that's why I decided to break it down step by step, really basic. It's all the fundamentals, just like as you being a professional dancer, ballet, right? First position, demi-plie, all those things. Or if someone were to say in a class, okay, tombe, pas de bourrée, glissage, jeté, starting on your right foot, you would know how to do that because you know the language.
Yes.
So what I decided to do was I am going to create vocabulary for this language, because sometimes even for the Rockettes, they don't even have a name for steps. They just say, do it like her, go.
Yes.
On this count. And so it's really hard to learn something when you don't have a name for it or you can't remember what it is. So like I created a whole language, a whole genre with vocabulary, with terminology so that people can remember and do the choreography properly, accurately, and with better retention in your brain. So it's a lot, but this tutorial, I think it's going to be about 45 minutes long. We're doing some editing today. I'm really excited, and some voiceover work as well. It should be available before Christmas. So I'm really excited to get that out.
Fantastic. And I hope everyone listening will purchase it. I'm going to link Rhonda's Instagram, which has a link tree so you can buy this tutorial. But I think to help other teachers, because you're based in New York, I'm based in New York, but there are studios all over the country in these wonderful cities and small towns that, you know, a lot of former Rockettes end up getting married and they move away. So some people open studios, and I teach an adult tap class, and with wonderful people who do many different things for a living, but yet they still want to dance. And I think it's so important to make it accessible to everybody. So this class, this tutorial that you have, it's online, right? And is it available so someone could watch it maybe 25 times if they needed to?
Yes. So once you purchase the tutorial, and then we send you the link and all the passcodes like that's specific to you, it's available for 12 months. So you can use it as many times as you want for the year. Then after the year, the link expires from the time that you receive email. Does that make sense? So not from the time of purchase, because some people they've already purchased it, but they haven't received it yet. So we are keeping track of all that. And basically, I'm going to continue coming out with more and more tutorials. So we started with 101, and then we're coming out with 102, and of course, on and on and on. And then I'm so happy that you're obviously a tap instructor, because I will be coming out with also a precision tap tutorial. Because even though there are some wonderful tap tutorials out there, tapping in heels, as you know, is different. And even for the Rockettes, like the specifics of the tap is really challenging. And it's not always about just knowing your shuffle ball changes and your flap heels. It's knowing how to do it with the right placement of your feet. So we're emphasizing not only the technique, the rhythms, but also the placement.
Segueing off this, I teach at a few studios, and in these studios, they are bringing the students up in flat black tap shoes, which I'm a heels girl, 100%. I think tapping in flats is great, but I would love to encourage all of the students and all of the studio owners out there to offer what I call a Broadway style tap class in heels. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I agree. I was also trained in black flat tap shoes. And when I was dancing in Los Angeles, I was actually a member of 3 different tap companies in LA before I became a Rockette. So I guess you can say that's like my fourth tap company, if you will, although they're more of a jazz company nowadays, but they started as a tap company back in St. Louis many years ago. I agree that tapping specifically in heels is its own animal. And yes, it is very hard to teach, and it is very hard to like find your stability and your balance. But it is possible. Obviously, it's not impossible. But I think, yes, that more teachers should offer it. But it was interesting because I even asked my mentor, who is a fabulous tapper, who has tapped with all the greats. And I said to her, why don't you have your seniors tapping in heels? And she said, Rhonda, it would take me all year to get these gals to tap in heels properly and do all the things I want them to do. And I was like, well, maybe she gets started. but like they're a competition studio. So that's part 2 is if you're a competition studio, tapping in heels is harder. Yes, it's true. You may not be able to do everything. This is true. But you know what? Yeah. For professional work, you're not going to need to do all those crazy flash steps. And if you're, let's be honest, a tall female, you're probably going to have to wear heels at some point. That's just the part of, so so it's sort of like finding that happy medium balance. And I understand where studio owners and choreographers of competition studios come from, because I judged competitions for 5 years all across the United States. And very, very, very few groups were heels. And I didn't really necessarily I wouldn't count it against them, obviously, because I'm looking at technique, I'm looking at performance, I'm looking at staging and all those things. But yeah, if I saw a group do a really great piece in the tap heels, they probably would have gotten even more points from me. So yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad that you do that, Michelle. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I just want to say that I have so much respect for you because what you have done, and in our profession, it used to be once you turned age 30, you were out, you were done, you had to find something else to do with your life. But I feel like you and I are kind of kindred spirits because I've tried to quit dancing many times and I can't quit it. I cannot, I can never leave it. It's in my soul, it's in my marrow. And I really have to say, I respect you for creating something for yourself, but you are not only passing things on, but you now have a business of your own that is supporting your family. You are helping others. You're helping people if they have a dream to become a Rockette. I just think it's wonderful. And I think that to every artist out there, you can go to auditions, but creating something of your own, no one can ever take that away from you and you can do it on your terms. And now what I really love is that you are scaling this because you're creating something that one person can buy or 1 million people can buy. I just think that the sky's the limit for you. And I just want to say hats off to you for that.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. And definitely to add on to that, I wanted to make it affordable because let me be honest, taking private sessions with me is expensive. And there's a reason for that. I've taught for 30 years. I performed professionally for 17 years. I've created 59 dancers who've become Rockettes, many more who've gone on to Broadway, done Cirque du Soleil, danced with Beyonce and other, crazy, amazing, dream living, jobs and productions. I've got like 4 dancers right now in Tokyo dancing in Christmas Wonderland. I've got 7 dancers in Reno. I'm going to go see this week perform in Christmas Wonderland. I've got, lots and lots of dancers. Actually, 30 Rockettes are still my students. They're still on the line right now, which is pretty cool too. So it's also longevity within your career. So it's not that just I'm giving you like, oh, try to learn this choreography. I'm actually teaching you a lot of specifics and techniques that I think a lot of teachers maybe don't know how to teach. So with my tutorial, I'm breaking down all of those small things as well. So you can learn the way that I am teaching dancers, from all over the world.
Yeah.
Here in New York City who want to be successful and, be on Broadway and such. And speaking of, yes, I do have students all over the world who take my classes because I do, as you know, offer on Zoom. And I love doing that because it's really fun to just be like, hey, I've got, Buenos Aires on my Zoom or whatever. And it's really wonderful. Also with that, I wanted to make it affordable to dancers who maybe are not able to, let's say, come to New York at all, right? So whether, if you are training or you're training in New York and you're training on scholarship somewhere, just to have the accessibility. I know Radio City is doing a great job of trying to diversify the line, but part of the reason why the line has not been diversified is because they don't give everyone access to the fundamentals. And that is what I'm trying to do. That's it. That's the bottom line. So, I hope more dancers then, eventually will be able to come into the line of all backgrounds and all diverse, everything, because I think it really is what America needs to see, what dancers need to see. I think that our community as a whole wants and needs. So I'm hoping that this tutorial will inspire some people, even if they haven't ever danced in heels or they haven't ever seen the Rockettes, just inspire them to try and say, oh, well, I think I can do this. This is totally doable. Yeah. Let's keep pursuing this. And then just on and on. So
absolutely.
So before,
go ahead. Oh, thank you. Before we wrap up, I just want to ask you, how do people find you if they want to study with you in person? And also, I'm going to post the link for the tutorial, but if you just say it, because I'm going to post this on various platforms, my podcast, I'm going to share it on Instagram, on YouTube. I'm just going to get the word out because as soon as we get off this call, I'm going to purchase the precision dance tutorial. And I plan to use it, not just for my students, but also for myself, because I think that there is a dancer inside of all of us that we need to continue to honor, respect, and show love to. And I really think that dance and performing arts is a bridge across the countries, across the communities to just promote love and peace and well-being and artistic effort, all the things. And I really think that you're a mover and shaker in this business. So how do people find you?
Michelle, that's really, I'm so honored that you even said that. Thank you so much. I try not to be too mover and shakerish, but all that I want are people to be successful. That's it. I did this. I don't have to do this anymore in terms of being a professional performer. But if that's what you want, then I can help you get there. That's all that it's about. It's not about me. It's about you. And to find me, you can DM me on Instagram, Rhonda Malkin. You can also, if you want to follow and purchase the Precision Dance Tutorial, it's at Precision Dance Tutorial, just one word. And then you just click on the link and you can purchase it. It's $49 now. We already finished our pre-sale, and it's about a 45-minute video that you can rewind and watch 1,000, 1,000,000 times, however many times you'd like. If you would like to connect with me and come to some of my workshops, yes, I'm having a spring break workshop coming up March 13th through 17th. And this is precision dance only. And it is to help prepare you for all auditions coming up in the spring. I'm also giving a pro dance team series, which is another precision style, but obviously there's a lot of different styles with pro dance team. So it's not just jazz. It's also hip hop and pom and all sorts of things. Some teams wear heels. Some teams don't wear heels. But that's another really fun one. And that is also on Zoom and here in New York. And then for teachers, I'm going to have a precision dance tutorial and curriculum certification week.
Wow.
And that I know that's going to come up this summer. I'm super excited about that because similar to the ABT program, where a lot of teachers who do ballet, they just want to get certified in that teaching process and that style so that they can go to a studio and say, oh, I'm ABT certified. That's awesome. And guess what? It gives them a whole lot of credibility and clout so that they can be hired. So I want to certify dance teachers who would like to teach precision dance because I think this is going to really take off. I think the contemporary scene has had its time. No harsh feelings about the contemporary. But I think it's had its time, and I think it's about ready to come back to precision, to structure, to also just, like you were saying, a beautiful art form that spans the whole world, all the generations, all the dance styles. And it's just going to be really fun to see where all these studios take this style, which will be awesome too, the next generation where they're going to take this. So I appreciate you saying all those wonderful things. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Rhonda Malkin, and at Precision Dance Tutorial.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Michelle. Have a great day.
Next week on the Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast, we have audition prep, audition season. Actually, there's no audition season. It goes year round, but the Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast will help tell you where to look for auditions if you're unrepresented by an agent, how to reach out professionally, and how to follow up, which I think is the most important part. Thank you for listening. This episode was sponsored by Wrinkle Schminkles, non-invasive silicone patch to help you have smoother skin. www.wrinkleschminkles.com. Use my code Michelle20 for 20% off. And this episode is also sponsored by Club Showgirl, a monthly membership program where we have online dance classes, online career coaching, support, encouragement, and community. Find out more information, go to my website, michellebruckner.com, and click to join on the mailing list. It's that simple. The Showgirl Tip of the Day podcast has original music composed by Joshua Holloway. Find him on YouTube, Joshua Holloway Music. This podcast is written by Michelle Bruckner and edited by Michelle Bruckner and Joshua Holloway. Find me on Instagram, Showgirl Tip of Day. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again next week with a new episode.